We'll be getting started here in just a second, getting everything set up. We'll be getting started here in just a second, getting everything set up. We'll be getting started here in just a second, getting everything set up. We'll be getting started here in just a second, getting everything set up. Hey guys, wanted to say hello. Welcome to the live stream. Gotten everything finally set up. We're going to take a look at Sally. Turn this on so you can see my right beautiful face a little bit better. There we go. So we can check out Sally, see what's going on, because she is rip-roaring in the Gulf. getting a couple of extra things set up here. So just bear with me. I'm going to take my face off of it, so you don't have to bear through that. Nobody wants to see that. So what I'm showing you is 2 radars. Sorry about the glare on the picture-in-picture there, but as close as I could get without without it not working. Just a second. All this situated. So as we know, she's a Cat 2, 988 in millibars, and getting close to the coast, taking a little bit more of a northern turn than expected. So as of this time yesterday, we were talking about New Orleans. Now we're talking about Mobile Bay. So just a little bit different than what was expected. But with hurricanes, you always have to be on your toes because, well, things can change. Let's see. So we're going to go through and we are going to take a look at a lot of things tonight. What I'm showing you there is the infrared and the regular radar. One is still, the other one is not. And on that infrared, it is still wrapping around, getting all the convection wrapped around that eye, trying to solidify right before she decides to go in. All right, just a second here. Getting close. Just a second. Let's get the satellite on this one. Ooh, show me what I want to see there. Looking at pressures dropping, of course, already over Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Grayton Beach, Foley, Pascagoula, Mobile, Saraland already got pressures dropping. trying to get one other thing set up, and then we'll go on a tour. All right. All right, let's first off, let me get back here where you can see me. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We're going to be live streaming Sally as she is inching ever so close to the Gulf Coast and moving in a little bit further north than expected. So all those hurricane warnings that were put out for like Biloxi and Mobile and over towards Pensacola, I hope people heeded those and was ready to move. So one other thing here. So I'm gonna get you for me one more time. Do that. Cover this one. All right, I'm gonna take you on a little tour while I get this done. This is the satellite image. You can notice right off the bat, you can see this is where the eye is, right here. You can tell this is moving in a northwest heading. Right there. So if it continued on, it would be coming in continued on the same route. It would be coming in just west of Mobile Bay. So people, Pensacola, Mobile Bay, Destin, all this storm surge that people have been talking about, you're it right here. Okay, this thing's moving a little further north and east. A lot of the models had it down over here by the mouth of the Mississippi, and it doesn't look like it's going to get there. It's like it is moving up in this direction. So Pascagoula, Biloxi, Gulfport, Mobile Bay, Pensacola, y'all really need to be on high alert. I hope you've already made your plans. And are in a safe area. All right, that's what we want you to be. We want you to be in a safe area, and hopefully not trying to ride this one out, because I do not think that's going to be advisable. Get out of here. second. I'm going to go to Mike's weather page. Y'all know I love Mike. I like his page. Let's take a look at the latest from the National Hurricane Center. And here we go. As of 7 p.m., 100 mile per hour sustained winds. So 100 mile sustained winds moving west-northwest at a slow 5 miles per hour. So once again, as we're talking, just west of Mobile Bay. So Gulfport, Mississippi looks to be where your landfall. Biloxi, Gulfport, right around in there. Looks like it's going to be your landfall. And notice, I'll show you this, make sure. Here's 7 p.m. Monday. This is 1 a.m. on Wednesday. 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Look how far it moves. Not much. So on this area right here, so your Pensacola, your Destin, your Panama City, your Mobile Bay, anywhere in that northwest panhandle of Florida, south part of Alabama, southeast part of Mississippi. This is not moving fast at all, will not move fast at all, and will still be a tropical storm at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. That's what the National Hurricane Center says. And it's just going to be dropping a ton of rain. A ton of rain in this area. So we need to make sure, be careful. Let's look at the potential rainfall. While this is in purple, basically from Biloxi, Mississippi, all the way over to the Florida, Alabama line, including Mobile, we're looking at 15 to 20 inches of rain in this area right here. I'll blow this up so you can see it. There's Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. So around Mobile over to Biloxi, and all the way over to the Florida, Alabama line. I always want to say Florida Georgia line because of that stupid group, right? Yeah, that's what I'm having issues with. So that is the main rainfall potential. We're talking 15 to 20 inches, probably locally 20 plus, and we'll go look at some models here in just a moment. Flash flooding potential. All right, here we go. Very high from basically the Louisiana, Mississippi state line all the way over to, that's going to be Panama City, Apalachicola. Well, it's going to be right over here towards Panama City, Pensacola, Panama City, Crestview, Bluntstown. Tallahassee is in the next. It's in the moderate. And the right past Lake Pontchartrain up. Okay, and let's look. Notice this moderate chance extends all the way through central Alabama and into northwestern Georgia. You have a moderate chance there, but a very high chance along the coast from basically Louisiana, Mississippi line all the way over to around, I would say that's about Panama City, Pensacola, Panama City, Destin area. It would be that area. Moving all the way up to, I believe that's going to be around Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Laurel will probably be close to it. All the way over to maybe Dothan and Greensville, Alabama. Okay? All right. Let me take you back. Not there. All right. Take out this. Let's get you back to the satellite loop. Give you a broader perspective of what's going on. Very dangerous situation when storm surge. is being mentioned of this, and the amount of rain. I mean, just ridiculous the amount of rain that could be dropped by this storm. Give me just a second. Still trying to work on a couple of things here. By the way, if you would like to send a donation my way, I'll gladly accept donation on PayPal. It's Big Cubs Fan NTX. So Big Cubs Fan NTX. I spend a lot of money, a ton of money, on all sorts of apps. All sorts of apps. Well, they all cost money. So I'm not afraid to ask for a donation. Would really appreciate it if this is providing you any type of usable content. If you're enjoying it, if you love weather and love to see this continue, please feel free to donate. Once again, not afraid to ask. I'll take that down just for a second. Right now you're on Randall's weather page on YouTube. You can also check me out at Randall's weather page on Facebook. And you can also check me out on Twitter at Randall's weather page also. It just says Randall's weather. Thought I fixed that, but evidently I hadn't. So that's where you can find me. Fix that right now. And look at that. Boom. Got it fixed up already. So I'll take that down. I'll leave this up. Still working. Give me just a second. I'm having technical issues with one computer. All right, looking better now. Looking better now. Finally got that up and going. So let's switch this off of satellite. Let me get this off. Directly onto here. Let's go into radar mode. Single site. Let's see if we can see it, what it looks like out of Mobile. Alright. Once again, I'm using the Radar Omega app. Let me show you how close you are. how close it is from how close the center is from Mobile. Right now it's 119, 120 miles south of Mobile, Alabama. All right. It is about 116 miles southeast of Pascagoula. And Pascagoula might be exactly where this is going in at. All right. Biloxi, Gulfport, Pascagoula. It is. It's all there. All right. Let's see here. Let's look at some of the wind reports. Are we getting a 52 mile per hour wind report? 52 mile per hour gust to 66. Trying to figure it out. That's a flight category, so looking like, oh, this is KVKY, so that's probably a buoy. And then KVOA, this is a 75 mile per hour sustained wind with a 90 mile per hour gust. So definitely hurricane strength, and that is on the northeast side of the eye. Let's take a look at this radar image. We'll do the last 50 frames. We'll take a look and see that eye's gotten a lot better. If you watch it, it's opened up. Now it's circling in with moisture. You have a gap. You have a gap on the bottom side, but it is very close for this to completely wrap around. And once again, Cat 2 storm, 100 mile per hour sustained winds, and this thing is moving west northwest, but only at 5 miles per hour. So definitely need to pay attention. I'm gonna get back out. I'm working on something else. Sorry. So I'm going to take this over 75 frames now, so we can get a better look. Bring it in just a little bit closer and see. You can see this, where this is going in at. That's right there. Right there. Trying to see where I can get the clearest picture of the eye. I mean, that eye has not moved much whatsoever. In 75 frames for the eye to move that much, man, that's not a lot whatsoever. 5 miles per hour is 5 miles per hour. There's no other way of looking at that, but that's what it is. Let's zoom in on some areas that definitely need to be paying attention right now. So, starting from Ocean Spring, over to Moss Point, over to Mobile Bay, all right, all the way over to Orange Beach. Definitely this area right here, prime landing location. In fact, I'll back it out just a little bit more, and we'll take this basically from Gulfport, all the way over. Prime landing spot location, right here. Prime landing spot location. If we take a look, where I'm aiming at right now is somewhere between Pascagoula, Gulfport, and Biloxi. That's my aiming point right now. See if that's what happens. That's my aiming point right now. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Hey, there I am in Corpus. Let's come back around here. Single site radar. We'll do the one out of Mobile. All right. So there's your areas. And once again, next one, 78 mile per hour sustained winds with an 87 mile per hour gust, and that is on basically the northeast side. And that looks like a buoy that is out there. Let me switch over and let's look at what the models have to say. Let's look at what the rapid model has to show here. And we will take this frame by frame. Let it run through for a second. Image not ready. That's because it's let this run for a second, let it load up. I'm looking at the rapid refresh model. Don't know why that is not loading up for me there. So we'll go back to 20Z. Let's get with that. We're going to NAM 3K. That will go compact. So this is the NAM. I'm taking a look at the NAM. 18Z is the latest run. So 18Z is still not running like it should. Some problems with the model out here. Let's get out of it. And 12K. Positive reflectivity. This one's more broad-based. So this basically has it going in over Mobile Bay, but not going in until 9:16 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Today's the 14th, so 9:16 it would move that. This was the NAM 12K, so it would not have it moving over towards Mobile Bay until, or actually making landfall at Mobile Bay at 1500. That'd be 3 o'clock on Wednesday. Lord have mercy, that would not be good. That would not be good whatsoever. All that rain would fall that long. Just look how long it sits. Look at all that rain and finally moves in. That was the NAM 12K. Let me see if I can go back to the 3K. See if I can get it to load up like it should. Legit. Finally, oh man. But notice this is still, okay, this is the rapid refresh model. And it is still, has it as out to sea. This is 9:15, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it only moves that far. The model's not seeing a lot when it comes to movement. That's insanely crazy, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go into Pivotal Weather, one of my favorite sites also. We'll take a look at it. And I'm going to go to HHR. 23. Let's change that to local. Texas and Louisiana. I need a better coverage than that. So it'll show me anything. Yeah, it'll show me this. Okay. So this is, let's see what the latest NAM, the latest rapid refresh is showing. All right. I'm going to put this into motion. Only goes out 18 hours. The rapid refresh only goes out 18 hours. So let's see what it does in real time here. All right, so Tuesday at 1 p.m. or 12 Central, not much movement whatsoever. Not much movement whatsoever. Basically, due south of Mobile Bay. Due south of Mobile Bay. 18 hours from now. Guess where it is now? It's about due south of Pensacola. Wow. All right. Let's go take a look at the NAM, 18 NAM. Local, regional here. There we go. Now this will take us out 60 hours, so we'll see what the NAM has to say. All right. Here we go. One thing I have to warn you about with the NAM is that the NAM, especially the 3K, usually goes insane on intensity. So never look for intensity on your NAM 3K. It takes hurricanes and just blows them up. For Laura, it had it going in at one point as a sub 900 hurricane. So we're just looking for position. We're not looking for, we're looking for position and timing. We're not looking for intensity when you look at NAM. So this is let's see here, valid for Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Going in over, that's going to be Biloxi, Mississippi. Take it one more hour out, another 3 hours out. It's pretty much over Biloxi and Gulfport, Pascagoula, Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula. That's what we'd be looking at there, and that would be at somewhere between somewhere between 6 and 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. That's what the North American model, the 3K, so the zoomed in version. Let's go look at, this is the National Weather Service. So this one is different. This has it basically going in to southeast Louisiana. So that would be going in towards Slidell, right outside of New Orleans, close to the Bay of St. Louis, Pearl River, that area, Picachain, that area right there. Let's go through another. So pretty much going in right at Lake Pontchartrain. That would be pushing a lot of water into Lake Pontchartrain, and basically between Slidell and the Bay of St. Louis, and going in as a Category 1 hurricane. I'll be going as a Category 1 hurricane. All right. Not bad, not bad. Let's go take a look at another one. This has a better start point. Look at it just sit. Oh my goodness. That has it. This is another weather service model. Now this has it out and not making landfall until Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. and that would be going in as a Category 2 or 3 at that point. And that would have it going in right at the the Alabama-Mississippi line. So that would be close to Pascagoula, Bayou La Barte, right in that area. Moss Point, the Grand Bay National Wildlife Refuge, all in that area is where this model sees it going. But once again, not coming in and making contact with the land until Wednesday. I mean, that would be insane. Absolutely insane. Let's go over to the NAM. See how far we gotten on the 18Z. Okay, we've gotten good on the 18Z. I'm going to let this run. NAM really moving it further west, then bringing it over. Pretty much Mobile Bay is a Category 1 hurricane, and that would be bringing it in Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So I'm seeing a lot of Wednesdays showing up now. A lot of Wednesdays showing up now on time frame. So that's interesting. That is a lot of time. That's a lot of meandering out into the ocean. Gives you a lot of time to strengthen also. Let's go back to the wrap. See how far I can get. I can get 14 hours ahead on the wrap model, and it has it basically that is going to be near Point Sulphur, Louisiana, so down around the mouth of the Mississippi, and it is that's as far as the wrap model goes. Oh, one more hour just came in. All right, so, and it has it basically same point. That would be, this will be valid Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'd have it right at the mouth of the Mississippi, but not near as strong as what other models have it. Okay, that's the NAM model. Excuse me, the wrap model. Let's go look at the Canadian. I have to zoom in on the Canadian. Let's let it run. Canadian goes out 48 hours. This. Run it. Let's see what the Canadian does with it. Once again, over towards Point Sulphur, then moves it in right at. We're going in right at right around Biloxi, Mississippi, and this would be going in Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wow. So Wednesday seems to be the timeline. I'm just going to go back and look and make sure I'm seeing all this right. National Hurricane Center. Sally. Key message. Just to keep it simple. Yeah. 1 a.m. on Wednesday. So the National Hurricane Center still has this going in at 1 a.m. on Wednesday. So they're with the Wednesday finally at making landfall. Notice the tropical storm winds are now starting to extend out towards the western tip of Florida and towards Mobile Bay. All right, so they're starting to feel some of it right now. Let's go back to radar Omega. And let's get it off of the models. Let's get it on the radar, single side. There we go. Really see the eye very well. Just a second. I'm going to put this on. Why don't you take a look at it? Second while I type here. You know I love weather when I'm not watching football and I'm watching a hurricane. Just a second. Letting y'all watch that while I finish this up. Excuse me just for a second. Just making sure I get all the information I need. All right. Sorry for the delay. Keep going. Flip this over. Just a real good looking eye at this point. See where we can see it, where it becomes well defined. Pretty much right there. And it looks like it's a wide eye at this point, but it is closed off. And all this hurricane really needed was to get this eye really closed off to start really picking up in intensity. It did it without the eye being closed off or surrounded by convection. So it's finally got to that point. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna get my handy dandy measurement tool out. And right now, the eye is around 29 miles wide. 29 miles wide. And if we close this off and move this up, right there, it's 29 miles wide by 17 miles in width. So it's a wide eye. Most powerful hurricanes, 10 miles or less in the eye. So it's definitely got a wide eye at this point, but still it is packing a big punch. Put this back into motion. Let you take a look at it. Notice the lightning. It's where the radar is starting to pick up the lightning strikes. It's like good banding. Good banding on this. So looking good on that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to go into satellite. Turn it off visible. I'm going to do the long wave. And I'm going to back this out just a little bit. Let's see if I can get this just on Sally. Don't need it on anything else. There we go. Just on Sally. And it's off. Let's look at the past 100 frames on Sally. Okay? The past 100 frames on Sally. Here we go. So when she started blowing up this last night, and then today, really started trying to get her act together. I remember tweeting out that photo last night. So she started looking a little bit discombobulated, but she's not really that discombobulated. She is just trying to wrap that eye. So when she was trying to wrap that eye with convection, she was just trying to get it to where she get even stronger. Once again, the number one job of a hurricane is to cool the oceans off, okay? So in order to cool the ocean off, you have to have proper venting. You have to be able to take that warm air and push it through the center of the storm. And that's what Sally is trying to do right now, is trying to get a proper vent. A proper vent. Let's put this in perspective. Let me stop this. I'm going to get my measurement tool. I'll start down here. I'll go all the way up. Right now, in length, The storm, Sally, is 755 miles in width, in height, and she is. Let me start it out here where they started. About 700 by 700. That's a pretty big storm. Pretty big storm. I want to zoom in. We got a couple of storm chasers that's out here. Let's see who this is. Mike Phelps. So Mike Phelps looks like he's going to be on his way down to the coastline, and he's going to be taking measurements. Even where he's at right now, look what he's got, 50 mile per hour winds already, and he is in Evergreen. Let's see, is that Georgia? It's Evergreen, Alabama. Sorry, Evergreen, Alabama. He has still got 51 mile per hour sustained winds where he's at. So unless he's driving, which I don't know if he is or not, that's his latest readings. And then this is probably going to be, this is Don Murray. And Don Murray, they've got to be driving. I'm going to say they're driving. There's no way the winds are 60 miles per hour at that point. Let's go radar, go to a single side. Let's see if I can pull it. Yeah, they've got to be driving. Never mind that. Never mind. They've got to be driving. So they're on their way down to the coast. I think Reed Timmer is going to be making his way down to the coast also. And they're part of Radar Omega and Project Mesovort, which is they move into storms. Most of them are storm chasers. They move into storms and they take readings. And those readings are handed out, or they're not handed out, but they're recorded, and then we can turn around as scientists and meteorologists and turn around and use that. Researchers can turn around and use that information to try to make better calculations on hurricanes and their wind fields and their power when they come ashore. They also do this with tornadoes too. So I think Reed Timmer will be on his way. I know he's been up in Colorado. Reed normally chases tornadoes, but he was chasing snow this week, so I think he's going to be on his way down to go through this. And then probably one of the best hurricane chasers is Josh Morgan, and he actually lives right down here. So he doesn't even have to leave his house to chase. And he just bought that house, by the way. So I know he's got to be going through some anxiety. But he doesn't even have to leave his house to chase. Nor he'll fly all around the world. All around the world to go look at, to go chase hurricanes. So he is. This is what he doesn't have to move on. All right. I'm going to put this into motion. Keep doing that wrong. Let me do it like I know how to do it then. Let me do that. There we go. All right. I'm going to step away just for a second. Be right back. Excuse me, I had to go get some food. It's time for dinner. No doubt about it. All right. I'm going to back you out. Let's look at the satellite. Oh, didn't want that. All right, let's take a look over here. Run this for the last 50 frames. Notice, still trying to make sure that she builds around that eye. Wants to close that eye off so bad. Trying so hard. Keeps it looks like the bulk of the convection, so the bulk of the storms are trying to fire up on the southwest side of the storm. Looks like it keeps trying to fire in that direction. Yep, southwest. Just getting some good cloud overshoots over there. Let's see if I can give you a 3D look into what she looks like right now. Alright. So this is right now. Let's watch 3D motion of Sally over the last 50 frames. See if we can notice something. Notice the hot towers coming up, southeast side. Let's move this around. All right. Hey buddy, how you doing? Good. Good. I'm on YouTube. Careful there. Yeah. Let's go to radar. Radar. Site radar. And then we will make it 3D on the radar. Let's take a look. We'll zoom in a little closer so you can see what the storm, what Sally looks like in 3D. We'll take it the last 50 frames. So just as I'm going through and checking out my feed, and I am seeing that other people are definitely, other meteorologists are definitely noticing that the eye is now closed off, and that big thunderstorm explosion you see on the southwest side is part of a intensification process that's going on. Let me get out of this. So I can turn it back over to the satellite mode. And on long wave It's this burst right here. This is right over the eye. So the eye, once the eyes got closed off, a little bit closer, once the eye's closed off, that convection is building. And we do see some possible intensification that is trying to happen right now. So, the past 5 passes of Sally, so the hurricane hunters, the past 5 passes they've done through the center, through the eye of Hurricane Sally, there's been a total movement of 20 miles in the past 5 passes. That's within the last 4 to 5 hours. It's only moved about 20 miles. So the slowdown has definitely started. And intensification looks like it's starting to increase a little bit because of, go back to the radar and show you, radar is showing pretty much that the eye is closed off. Let's do the last 50 frames and show you that the eye was on the south side, was open, and now it looks like that eye is closed off. Latest recon just found 982, so basically 983 pressure. So it looks like there is some intensification that is going on with Sally. So that eye is closing off. And what we might see in this last, I'm going to watch it with you here, but what we might see in this last part, it's kind of ragged and closing off, but yeah, it's closing off. We go back here, that is completely closed off, with the one weakness being now the west side of the eye wall. But that still looks better than what it looked just, 3 hours ago. So definitely has definitely closed off that eye wall. It's not a pretty looking eye wall, but it's definitely closed off now. So that's just going to allow for more intensification to happen with Sally. Sally's not going to go off and be an easy storm here. Not going to be an easy storm whatsoever. All right. All right, I want to say hi to everybody, give you just a little bit of an update. So Sally is now has her eye closed off. She looks like she's starting to intensify. About 983 is the millibars that the latest recon has going through on Sally. And that is 5 millibars lower than what was reported at 7 o'clock. So it looks like there's some intensification going on with Sally. Earlier we took a look at models, and those models seem to show that Wednesday, early Wednesday morning was going to be the time frame that Sally was going to make it to land. Now, if you see if I can do this right, if you look up in here, this corner, if you see how close Sally is right now to landfall, and just think about this. Look at the rain. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit closer for you. But you see the rain is already falling up here. It's already falling in Destin. And that's just going to keep going. So Mobile, Destin, Pensacola, Panama City, anywhere around the Emerald coastline, it's just going to keep raining. It really is. And so sorry, looking off that way. So we're looking at a big rain event, and as long as if Sally does stay out to Wednesday, there's going to be a lot of surge. There's going to be a lot of water going in. And if it goes in close to Biloxi or Pascagoula, all that water is going to go into Mobile Bay. And that's not going to be a good thing. So if you know anybody around Biloxi, Gulfport, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Mobile, Pensacola, you need to let them know if they're down around the beach, they need to get away. All right, because there's going to be a lot of surge, and it's going to be a lot of rain. We're talking about possibly up to 20 plus inches of rain in the area from Biloxi all the way over to Pensacola, and then further north of Mobile, maybe even up towards Hattiesburg. We're talking about a lot of rain that is in that area. A lot of rain falling, and then a lot of surge coming in. So definitely need to be paying attention in these areas. And what's going to be crazy is that this time tomorrow night, still going to be talking about the same thing, because this storm is just not moving. Once again, 4 or 5 hours and only moved 20 miles. This thing's basically going to just float. Sally's just going to float kind of back and forth, east and west, north, maybe even a little south. It's just going to float right there. And then until finally a front's going to come in, pick it up, and move her out. But got a lot of rain that's going to be happening over the next 3 days down in the coast. So once again, if you got somebody that's down there, you know that they're down there, please call them, let them know, show them this video, let them know. It's not time to stick around down there. If you're on the beach or in from the beach, up to 15, 20 miles in from the beach, don't hang around. Don't chance it. Don't chance it whatsoever. It's time to start making your plans to move, to go further inland. Go stay with somebody. Go rent a hotel. Do something. Just don't stick around if you're on the beach. This surge and all this rainfall it's a mixture of no-go. All right? Mixture of no-go. I'm going to get my face back off. By the way, this up just a little bit. If you're watching this and you're enjoying it, I will accept donations. That's my PayPal, Big Cubs Fan NTX. So Big Cubs Fan NTX. If you got a time, you're watching this video and you like it, feel free to drop me. I call it coffee money. Drop me a little coffee money so I can continue on, because this is going to be 2-3 days of this stuff. So drop me a little coffee money while you're in there. All right. Once again, you're watching me on Randall's weather page here on YouTube. You can also check me out at Randall's weather page on Facebook. I do a lot of posting on Facebook. And I also have Randall's Weather Page Center. So there's 2, and that's on Facebook. And then you can also find me at Randall's Weather Page on Twitter. So I'm all over the place. all over the place, trying to give you as much information as possible. And once again, I'll take some coffee money anytime that you would like to give it to me at Big Cubs Fan in Texas on PayPal. All right. Now that I've begged you for money, I'm back out. I'm going to put this radar into motion. Excuse me while I eat some of my wife's soup. It is very, very good. Once again, that eye looks really good. Much better than what it did. It's closed off. It's dropping in pressure. Yeah, that eye. Yeah. Take it up to tilt 2. See how it looks further up in the atmosphere. All right. Let's get off the radar on their side. Let's go to Weather Labs. I told you I had plenty of sites that I go to. This is another one, Weather Lab. There we go. There we go. Looks a lot better that way. This will only show me an hour's worth, but again, see how more defined. It's a little loose on the southwest side again, but trying very hard to get its act together. Once again, Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Santa Rosa Beach, Panama City. Already seeing the rain, and that just not good, because it's just going to sit out there. Let's see if I can change this. Reflectivity. See, there's a good look at that eye. It's a little too far out. I mean, you can see it, but it's not as sharp as you want to see it. Velocity is basically the winds. So green wind. The green is the wind coming towards the radar station. The red is going away from the radar station. So, and then the difference in between the two is where you can spot circulation. It's this almost the exact same way that that we look for when it comes to tornadoes. Because we're just looking for wind going opposite direction and a circulation. So that's what the center of a hurricane is, and that's what we're seeing there. Now, go down again. And stop this. Now, I'm going to take a little run through the velocity. See if I can see. Even with this, I can still go out and see basically how high that eye is. If it gets closer, just not seeing much here. Trying to find that eye. Can't find it. Should be somewhere around in there. Not seeing it. And was at 15. Should be somewhere around in there because that's where your green and reds collide. It's just a little bit too far out for this radar side to pick up how high that eye is. It'll be right in there somewhere. So can't see it yet off that radar side. Let's go. Little radar scope. Over there. Over here. See if radar scope can show me a little bit better. So the eye is closed off. That bottom part is still wobbly, but still trying to close it off. I'm going to switch over just so I gotta put some information here on this. Switch back over. There we go. All right. Let's get a better look through this is radar scope. Coming through there. Here. If it could just get more convection around that south end of the storm, then it'll be doing well. It'll be doing well. Two screens here so we can see. Center is now kind of oblong, but that's okay. It's going to twist and turn. by the way, Teddy and Vicky are now out in the Atlantic. I'm looking at the latest tracks here. Give me just a second. Trying to see, this is the 0C tracks, and they're just now coming in. No. We got got a convergence of tracks pretty much over Mobile Bay. Let's see. We can go take a look at that. This on here. Current storms. Busiest part of the season, and busiest part of the season means that a lot of storms out there. Choose a different storm. Let's go to Sally. Here's your new 0Z runs. And like I said, a lot of convergence right now on Mobile Bay. Okay, Mobile Bay. So 24 hours be just south of Mobile Bay, then moving into Mobile Bay within 48 hours. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's the latest model runs that have come out, the 0Z model runs with a big convergence into Mobile Bay. Still have your outliers in Gulfport and Biloxi, but the majority of your models are right around Mobile Bay, with your other outliers going into like Pensacola. But that's an outlier. That's outlier. That's not what it would be. Well, it's an outlier. It still could be that, but all right. Let's see if I can get some 0Z GFS. So that's the 14th. Let's go back to 18Z on GFS. And even at 18Z on GFS, you're still wet. GFS has been west this whole time. West. But notice, if it moves further east, the GFS has it being a stronger storm. You're talking about reds, you're talking about 980 to 970s, which it already is. Okay, already is. The 983 is what it looks like the last pass was. So it is intensifying. Let's see, GFS parallels. This is 18Z. Notice GFS parallels still west. Okay, still west, with some still moving over Mobile Bay, but this still has the Louisiana-Mississippi border as possibility, and that is the 6 o'clock run of the GFS parallel, which is the new GFS. Let's look at intensity models. Intensity models category 2. The majority of it keep it as category 2. One model. Which model is that? The EGAR 2. So this is the European model. European model shows us getting up to a Cat 3. So pretty much a Cat 3 at landfall is what the European model is. Most others keep it as a Category 2, upper end Category 2, but keep it as a Category 2. All right. Once again, see, this is the latest. Once again, it's as of 7 o'clock, 100 mile per hour winds, west-northwest at 5 miles per hour. It is creeping. All right, Sally is creeping along. Won't be long. About 10 o'clock advisory is about to come out, so we'll get an update on that. Here's where it's located. So if you take, there it is. So if you go, let's see, where is that going to be? I'm going to try to get it pinned down here. Hold on just a second. All right, so basically, this is just, the center of the storm is just south of Orange Beach, almost directly south of Orange Beach. Okay. Get that right. Yep, just south of Orange Beach. I won't say just south. It's probably at least 100 miles south of Orange Beach. But this general area right here, so mouth of Mississippi over to basically Pensacola, and this area, Emerald Coast, Orange Beach, Biloxi, Gulfport, just south of that, that's where this storm is going to meander for the next 24 hours. Pretty hard to believe, but that is where the storm is just going to sit. Absolutely sit. So that's the latest. Let's go to forecast models. See if I can pick this up a little bit better. Southeast United States. This will be simulated satellite. We'll take this over the next 115 hours. And this is the GFS. Notice the GFS has it moving further west than what the National Hurricane Center has it forecasted for. Once again, going in close. Close to right over Lake Pontchartrain, Slidell, Louisiana. That's what the GFS has for 18Z. Let's go look at the icon. I like to look at the icon model. I'm going to let it run through to try to catch up with me. Just making this a little run. Alright, let's go and take a look at this. I think I'll move it through. So I'm going to choose to get 6Z. So that goes it that takes it to from the mouth of the Mississippi by tomorrow night. Still same category, about Category 2 hurricane, but just almost directly east of the mouth of the Mississippi. And then has this going in right around. Let me back this out just a little bit and make sure. I am saying this right because I want to make sure. And once again, this is the Icon model. The Icon is a German model. They're good at cars, and this model is pretty good also. All right, so this would have it going in basically Pascagoula. Dauphin Island would be directly affected by this. Bayou La Batre, and then going up into Mobile Bay. That would be where the Icon model would be taking this, and basically going in as a Category 1 or Category 2 storm. This shows it at 18Z, so Wednesday afternoon would be basically just west, or just west of Mobile Bay, just west of Mobile. So that would be a lot of water. A lot of water going into Mobile Bay. A lot of water over Dauphin Island. Okay, let's go to see what the European model shows. So 12Z. So Wednesday afternoon, and pretty much almost exactly the same as the Icon model, just a little bit different on timing, not much different. So the Icon and the GFS are in agreement on landing spot, pretty much on agreement in the going in as Category 1 or Category 2. So very interesting that the European and the Icon model are definitely in simpatico when it comes to intensity, also when it comes to landing location. So that's very interesting. The GFS we know is far to the west. Okay, here we go. Same 48 hours away. The Canadian model, a little further west. So the Canadian and the GFS, the American model, are pretty much almost exactly the same when it comes to landing spot. And now the American model and the Canadian model are in simpatico, and the European model and the German model are in simpatico. So this is the area that the Canadian and the GFS sees. And then if we go back to the Icon model, if I move it forward, that's the Icon model, and pretty much exactly what the European model say. So Louisiana, you're not out of the neck of the woods. I want to tell you that right now. So if you got people that are over in Slidell, they're over at Lake Pontchartrain, do not let them ease up. Do not think that they are out of this, because they are not out of this. The National Hurricane Center has moved it a little bit further east, but they're not out of the woods. They're still within the cone of uncertainty, and they need to pay attention. You definitely need to be talking to your relatives, talking to your friends, talking to co-workers that might have family that's down there, and you need to let them know, hey, this is serious, and don't think that you are getting off easy. All right, don't let them think that, because the cone might be moving a little further east. Don't let them think that. We'll go to the hurricane model. Let's go to the H-Wharf. I want to see what the H-Wharf shows. Well, So make sure this is the latest run on the H Wharf, 18Z. Give me a second. Yep. So that's the latest, the 6 o'clock run of the H Wharf, which is a hurricane model. And the hurricane models have done well when it's come to intensity, okay? They've done well all season when it's come to intensity. Your global models have done well on positioning, but they have not done well on intensity. Your hurricane models have done well on intensity and decent on the positioning. Your H Wharf, which yesterday, it's done the flip-flop, okay? So the day before yesterday, it was showing a major Category 3 hurricane. Yesterday, it was showing, it had backed off and it was just showing a Category 1. Tonight, we're back to Category 3, going into the Alabama-Mississippi state line, and that would be going in at a little bit earlier. That would be going in at 0C on Wednesday, so tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. So a little bit quicker than what the National Weather Service has it. Okay, but still going in. That 960 is a Category 3. That's a strong hurricane going in, and that would be storm surge going into Dolphin Island. A lot of storm surge. You're talking about 7 to 11 feet, maybe even more, and then going into Mobile Bay. So all that water would be pushing in this way because the storm's going in directly north. All that storm surge would be going in directly north. So all the way over to, you have to watch out for storm surge all the way over to Pensacola, okay? All the way over to Pensacola. But if this scenario was to play out, Category 3 going in at the Alabama-Mississippi state line, then this would be pretty bad. Catastrophic for Dolphin Island, and it would be a bad scenario for Mobile Bay. So that is the H Wharf, which is a hurricane model, which has done well on intensity. Let me go back to hurricane. Let's go to the H Mon. I want to move it. Let's go 48 hours out, see where it's at. So it's a little bit quicker too. Okay, so here is the H Mon, which is the other hurricane model, okay? And this other hurricane model is in conjunction with the H Wharf, the other hurricane model, of this being a Category 3 or more storm coming in. The H Wharf has it going in right at the Alabama-Mississippi state line. This has it going in more towards Biloxi and Gulfport, Mississippi. Let me move it forward 1 hour. Yes. It'll be going in Pascagoula, Biloxi, right in that area would be the landfall. So that's what your two hurricanes. One hurricane model's right here around Biloxi and Pascagoula. The other one is right on the Mississippi-Alabama state line. And this would be bad. This would be a storm surge once again, Dolphin Island, right up through Bayou Le Barté and into Mobile Bay. So when your two hurricane models are that close in landfall and that close in intensity, it really piques my interest. Really piques my interest. That just lets me know, hey, this is starting to get there. Okay, starting to get there. And I'll back this out, and we'll go to the GFS. The GFS is not that far off from the HMON. Let me back it up once. Is this a new one? 18Z GFS. All right, so your GFS is not too far. The intensity is off compared to the hurricanes. It's less intensity as the hurricanes, but still this would have it going in more towards the Bay of St. Louis, Gulfport, Mississippi, and Biloxi, Mississippi. So your GFS, your HMON, and your HWRF all kind of within shouting distance of each other. Your PARA, kind of in that same distance too. For some reason it's not loading up like it should. And that's usual with the PARA, because the PARA, it lags behind the GFS because it's the new GFS. So the GFS runs first and then the PARA runs after it. So your 6 o'clock PARA will lag behind. You'll see your GFS before you see your new GFS, your old GFS before you see the new GFS. But even at 30 hours, we're talking about, let me move my screen over just a little bit. We're talking about, let's see if I can get some of these smaller towns in here. All right, let's see. That would be basically the east side of New Orleans, going up through Hopedale, then through New Orleans to the Lake Pontchartrain, and then up through Slidell, Lacombe, Waveland, and Bay of St. Louis. Somewhere around in that area is where the GFS says it. So the GFS, let's see if I'm going to try to put this in picture for you so I can show you. There we go. Okay. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. So your GFS has it going in. Get right up here is your Pearl River. So your GFS shows it going in right around Slidell. Move it down just a little bit so you can see. So there's New Orleans right there. So it'd show it coming through Barthwaite, through Hopedale, Slidell, Pearl River, the Pearl River State Wildlife Management Area. That's where the GFS is, in Waveland and the Bay of St. Louis. So right around there is where the GFS is showing. And the new GFS will start running here soon. Now your look at this, your hurricane models. So get your HWRF Sally. All right. So your HWRF Sally, your hurricane model for Sally, be going in right around this area. So I'll back it up just a little bit. So Pascagoula, Moss Point, Gator, Bayou La Barthe, right around in this area is where it shows it. The HWRF shows it would come in as Category 3. So Pascagoula, Moss Point, Gator, I'm trying to shoot him. That area right there is where the HWRF shows. All right, I'm gonna put that in. You can see it right there. And then let's go to HMON. Same time, a little bit later. Here's your HMON. And this is basically, it has it between Pascagoula and Biloxi. And that's what your HMON shows. So that's where your GFS, your HMON, and your HWRF, that's what they show as possible landing sites. By the way, if y'all have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop me a line. I will definitely answer. back. I'm gonna review some of the information that's coming in. So the 10 o'clock advisory just came out. Sally is still with top sustained winds around 100 miles per hour. The movement is now west-northwest at 3 miles per hour. So it is actually slowed down. It is actually slowed down from the last advisory. That was 5 miles per hour. It's slowed down again. Set back to normal. Go back. I'm going to put this in motion for you. I'll go over some of this information. Looks like her eye has opened up again on the south, right there. She's trying to get her act together. She might have a little shear coming through the center. I've had some questions about Tropical Storm Teddy. So give me just a minute. I'll take a break from Laura. I'll take a break from Sally, and we'll go out and we'll take a look at Tropical Storm Teddy. I can tell you that the winds on Teddy, 50 miles per hour, pressure is at 102 millibars. And the movement is west-northwest at 13 miles per hour, so moving at a decent clip. I tell you, it is projected to be a major hurricane. So, since I've had that request, we'll go take a look at where Teddy is at now. We'll see the run. Here's the run on Teddy. This is the 8 o'clock H-Wharf run. Let's see how fast Teddy gets his act together. It looks like pretty quickly. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Sometimes this has to run through one time before it'll show everything. Gives me a chance to eat a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. In the 940s. That is a classic hurricane shape. Classic hurricane shape. That is a buzzsaw shape, okay? This is valid for 6 o'clock on Friday. 84 hours out. Shooting 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. That's a pretty good looking hurricane. Okay. And that's the H Wharf. We'll go to the H Mon. I'd have to let this run through in one time. Once again, it gets its act together pretty quickly. Down to the 950s. 954, 953, 52. So it continues with the strengthening. The last part for Teddy. Where the H Mon has it continuing to strengthen. The H Wharf shows it's backing off just a little bit in the last at 126 hours, which that would be Saturday night into Sunday. So let's break out of that. Go to the GFS and see what Teddy looks like. GFS takes it further. That would be Bermuda. So it looks like the GFS is going to take it just east of Bermuda. And over towards Newfoundland. We'll watch this one more time since the whole thing was loaded. Once again, this is a GFS. This is not Sally. This is Teddy. Somebody wanted me to take a look at Teddy. So Teddy looks like it'll be a Category 3 storm at least. Looks like it goes east of Bermuda, continues north until it gets close to Newfoundland, and then takes a turn to the northeast. I'm going to go to global. Let's go to the European. Out for the North Atlantic. This would be Teddy right here. So Teddy looks like that would be Paulette right here. Teddy riding basically very similar to the route of Paulette, except that the turn north is turned north and then barely turns northeast. So if there's anything that pops up in the Gulf, I don't see anything that pops up in the Gulf. And this little disturbance right here, that would be near the Leeward Islands, and that would be on Thursday. Notice the Gulf in the European model is very tranquil. Okay, you have one little disturbance down here that stays down here and never really develops. It would be rainy, definitely rainy down here in South Texas, which we need, by the way. We'll take it. Let's go take a look at the GFS, same way. Move it back to the start. We'll let it run through one time so it can catch back up with us. Just about there. Let's take a look at it now that she's loaded up. So there goes Sally. This is Teddy. Goes east of Bermuda, then kicks north. Okay. I don't see anything in the Gulf. There's another low pressure that probably built off the front that came through. And that moves off. And another little low pressure over here by the Caribbean. Once again, this is over 300 hours out. Just don't see anything in the Gulf. Once Sally moves out, one little disturbance down here, but the disturbance doesn't do much whatsoever. This shows Teddy out to sea. Vicky, kind of non-existent. And one thing I'm starting to notice is that the wave train, the monsoon season in Africa, is starting to show signs that it's letting up. If that's the case, then we would have to look for our development to stop the wave train out here, which pretty much the GFS is kind of showing there's nothing else that's out here. And then we'd start looking for development more in the Caribbean and more homegrown here in the Gulf. Okay? I did a video a couple of days back, and I started noticing a lot of high pressure that was starting in the models that, 2-3 weeks down the road, a week and a half to 2 weeks down the road, start getting a lot of high pressure down here. That's pretty much a signal that your African monsoon season is about to stop, which means that your wave train is changing the seasons. The wave train would start to stop, and then you start focusing your area of concern over into the Caribbean, homegrown on the Atlantic from fronts, and then also same thing in the Gulf of Mexico, something coming up from the Caribbean, or something starting as a low pressure off of a front, and then moving up to usually it's to the northeast. Okay? So that's my look at Teddy. Vicky doesn't show to be much. Once we get past Teddy, it seems to kind of quiet down a little bit. So, knock on wood, that could be true. Absolutely true. All right? So, let's get back to live action with Sally. All right. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center. Sally. All right, here's your 10 o'clock post. Once again, still 100 mile per hour sustained winds, moving at the west-northwest at 3 p.m. Let's take a look. That's your wind field right now. Notice your National Hurricane Center has now started moving over to the options of the hurricane models. They're moving it basically right over the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And that would be Wednesday at 7 a.m. So Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. is when they have, in this latest run, this latest model run for the National Weather Service, and now have it going in Wednesday at 7 a.m. as a hurricane. It doesn't have it as a major. It just has it as a hurricane, so that's probably, it's Category 1 or Category 2. But look at this movement. 10 p.m. Monday, 7 a.m. Wednesday. Just not much movement whatsoever. A lot of rain for Mobile, for Pensacola, for Destin, for Apalachicola down here, for Biloxi and Pascagoula and Orange Beach. Just a lot of rain. Let's go to rainfall potential. Rainfall potential is almost the same. So 15 to 20 inches from about Biloxi, Mississippi, all the way over to near the Florida-Alabama line, close to Pensacola. So that would be around Foley, Alabama, which would be right there. Mobile, Alabama, which is about right there. And then you would have Biloxi, would be right here. And then I think Gulfport, just to the west. So it would be right on the edge. So 15 to 20, localized 20 inches plus in this area. Okay? Localized 20 inches plus. Let's go look at peak surge. All right. Your peak surge, it has Mobile Bay 6 to 9 feet of surge into Mobile Bay. 6 to 9 feet of surge into Mobile Bay. Looks like 2 to 4 over towards Pensacola and Destin. 6 to 9 feet, that would be across basically the entire Mississippi coastline. And then 6 to 9 feet basically from the mouth of the Mississippi all the way over to Alabama, over to Mobile, with Lake Pontchartrain somewhere around 3 to 5 feet of surge coming in. So even with the National Hurricane Center showing this going in at the Alabama-Mississippi state line, still showing 3 to 5 feet of surge coming into Lake Pontchartrain, 6 to 9 feet of surge coming in to the Mississippi coastline, 4 to 7 feet into like Dauphin Island, all the way over to the Alabama-Florida border, and then 6 to 9 feet into Mobile Bay, because it will go into Mobile Bay and funnel into Mobile Bay, so it'll be a little bit larger into Mobile Bay. Once again, this is the 10 o'clock advisory. Here's your wind history. So your tropical storm strength is now into Mobile Bay, into around Pensacola. Move this over just a little bit. Going over towards Fort Walton Beach, maybe just a little bit into Mobile Bay. Dauphin Island is where tropical storm force winds can be felt right now, with your hurricane force winds still due south of Orange Beach, right around the eye. Okay. Let's go to arrival of winds. Wow. Good luck with this. That is one of the craziest drawings I've ever seen from the National Hurricane Center. Absolutely insane. All right. So Tuesday at 2 a.m. Notice that small swath. And then it just goes Tuesday at 8 p.m., Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, this is tropical force storm winds, okay? So Georgia, Tuesday 8 p.m., Wednesday 8 a.m., you can start seeing tropical storm force winds in your area, okay? All right. So storm surge warning. Let's take a look at the areas. That's a storm surge warning. So basically the mouth of the Mississippi all the way over to Fort Walton Beach, Destin, storm surge warning. Okay? Not a watch, a warning. So if you are in any of these areas, pull this up for you. If you're in any of these areas, you are under a storm surge warning. Right here. Once again, mouth of the Mississippi, just west of the mouth of the Mississippi, up through Lake Pontchartrain, the entire coastline of Mississippi and Alabama, and then Florida through Pensacola all the way over to Fort Walton Beach, Destin, that area. You are under a storm surge warning, which means the surge could be bad to catastrophic in your area, depending on where this storm goes in. let's look at the watches and warnings. Here we go. Hurricane warning. Basically, the mouth of the Mississippi all the way over to Pensacola, Florida. Go down just a little bit. So, Gulf breeze. The Santa Rosa Sound goes all the way over through there. Okay. You have watches that's just just west of the mouth of the Mississippi. And then it starts from basically, looks like, just trying to get my bearings here. Just a second, I want to give you the right information. There's Pensacola, right there. So basically, hurricane watches for, I'm not sure I said that right. No, tropical storm warning, tropical storm warning from basically Fort Walton Beach down to Apalachicola. Okay? So that's where your hurricane. Sustained winds as of 10 p.m. All right? So there's your hurricane warnings in red and your tropical storm warnings in blue. Okay? All right. Let's go look at the cone. I only want to look at 3 days, but even in 3 days, look at the movement. Just not there. So once again, 10 o'clock Monday to 7 a.m. on Wednesday, that is not much movement. That's about 100 miles of movement. 100 miles of movement. That is not much movement whatsoever. And then by 7 p.m. Wednesday, by that time, it gets picked up by front, and then it starts moving a little bit faster. But from now until 7 a.m. on Wednesday, this thing stays out in the Gulf. Hurricane models, listen very closely. Hurricane models have this going in right now as a category, high category 2, category 3. Your GFS shows it going in as a 1. Your Euro shows it going in as a 1. Your Icon has it going in as a 2. So that's your roundup right now on what it looks like. Let's get out of the models. Let's go back into Radar Omega. Load your Radar Omega back up. Let's go take a look at the radar. Let's run it for the last 75 frames. And let's see what it looks like on your last 75 frames of radar. I got discombobulated. Now it's back trying to wrap itself around. The back half of it is now the southwest side is still having some issues. Can't get wrapped around. That's probably why it's still at 100 mile per hour sustained winds. Even with the eye open on the southwest side, it's still 100 mile per hour sustained winds. Excuse me while I munch on something. If Sally can keep that eye closed, if she can close that eye, keep that eye closed, she can get to a category 3. She's already had a category 2 and she's got an open eye. Meat and soup my wife made. Very good. All right, let's get off the radar. And we will go. Oh, excuse me. We'll go to infrared. Oh yeah, she is trying really hard. really hard to get her act together. Let's go 75 frames. And let it load up. Yep, she is trying her hardest to close that southwest eye wall. Trying very hard to close that southwest eye wall. All right, I'm gonna switch this to 3D mode. Stop it. I'm going to let you get a 3D look of what Sally is doing tonight. Ride, Sally, ride. That's pretty strong looking. She's definitely trying to get that southwest eye wall closing. She's trying her hardest. Absolutely trying her hardest to get that southwest eye wall rolling there. Let's see here. I like the HFIP model. I'm gonna zero in on Sally here. So this is the multi-model. Let's see if I can do my late model guidance here. There's my late model guidance. Let's click on intensity 2. All right, notice a theme. The theme is the further west this goes, the quicker it gets over land, the less intensity is forecasted. But if this stays out, okay, if this stays out, and curves back to the north, that's where your intensities pick up, okay? And your reds show category 3, your purples. There's a light purple in there. That light purple shows category 4, all right? And that, notice the majority is going in somewhere between Gulfport and Mobile. That's the majority. Here's your outliers over here, over towards New Orleans. This is more the GFS run. Some more your hurricane model run right here. And it looks like the National Hurricane Center, definitely on location, is running towards the hurricane models. With that, scary to look at. That's your late model guidance. Okay, late cycle guidance. Let's look at your multi-model EPS guidance. And your EPS is still showing a little more west tilt, but once again, further west it goes, the more it interacts with land, the less the intensity would be. And then the further east that it goes, a little more of the time over water gets you a little more in intensity. That one outlier for your EPS multi-model guidance shows it going in as a category 3. The rest of them has it going in as a tropical storm. Don't believe that whatsoever. Okay? Here is your GFS models. Notice congregating in between New Orleans and Biloxi, and your GFS models are not showing much of anything, showing tropical storm, bumping up to a Hurricane 1. Notice it starts it out as a tropical storm. Right now it's a category 2. So intensity-wise, kind of screwy, but location-wise, in between New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, Louisiana. Please, people in Mobile would be absolutely mad at me if I said that. Your UK model, this is the ensembles that go in it. Notice your UK model shows us getting picked up by the front and carried off more towards Gulf Shores and Pensacola. And there's nothing it can show. It doesn't show intensity. But that's what your UK ensembles are showing. Your Canadian shows more westerly tilt, category 1, and then moving up. And it's kind of all over. Our ensembles are kind of all over the place. Okay? Your Euro, here's your Euro. Your Euro is tightly clustered in between Pensacola and Gulfport. Okay. This is your best track observation. That's where it's observed. So notice over the past little bit it has moved to the west, northwest. It was more of a northwest, and this is more west-northwest in its run there. All right. Let's get out of that. Let's go in and give some props to Weather Nerds. WeatherNerds.org. Love Weather Nerds. Great site. Let's get the HMON. Let's go to Sally. All right. Let's go to forecast hour. 42. 42 is already in. Let's go to 36. Go to 30. Okay. So there is, this is the HMON. Yeah, this is the HMON. So this is the hurricane model. Okay. This hurricane model with this site, I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to go into cross-section mode. And let's go like we slice the hurricane in two. Let's look at some winds. Notice right here, we're getting into about the 120, 125 knots. For about 130, 135 mile per hour winds on the east side, and just the same over here on the west side. So this shows, I want you to notice the classic shape of the eye. That's very strong looking eye. That's very strong winds down at so this is the surface. Let me explain this. This is the top part of the atmosphere. And as you go down, you're going down towards the surface. Okay. So this, basically, we take the hurricane just like a cake. You slice it in half. You got one half. You can see down through the middle of it. This is exactly what this is, a cross-section of the hurricane. This is the HMON. The HMON is one of two hurricane models that we look at. And once again, very destructive winds. You're talking about 130, 35 miles per hour. This is for the HMON. And pretty much on both sides, which usually is stronger on the east side. This is the west side, and it looks just as strong. I always like to go in and take a look at moisture to see if we can tell why. There is no reason why, and that's why the HMON makes this so strong. Oops, that's the wrong thing there. Let me get this closer to you. So basically what you're looking here, once again, top part of the atmosphere down to the surface. Then I am looking at moisture. So I'm looking for if there's any dry air coming into the system. This is at Wednesday. So Tuesday night into Wednesday, you expect to see dry air in the center, okay, because that's the center of the hurricane, the eye of the hurricane. So seeing dry air there, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. No real dry air whatsoever in this system from the HMON. So this is showing that great breathing by the storm, and that's why the storm is so powerful as HMON sees it. I'm going to go in and see if I can see any wind shear here. And it's still showing me relative humidity, the moisture in the air, so I can't see any shear coming in, but with no dry air, it's hard to see any shear coming into this system at this point through the HMON. Let me back out of the HMON. Let's go into the H Wharf, and we'll go into Sally. So there's Sally. Let's go to hour number, let's see where it has it, hour number 30. Pretty much going in, let's back it up. Hour 24 is going to be a little bit further out, but here we go. It's hour 24, so model cycle 18. Let's get a better look at it. And let's do our cross section. And let's see, this is once again another cross section into a hurricane, and this is through the H Wharf, so it's the other hurricane model. And the other hurricane model showing pretty much a little bit stronger winds on the east side of the storm than on the west, but still looking at 120 mile per hour plus winds on the west side, so no slouch on that side. Looks really healthy. I'm going to go over to moisture. Let's take a look at the moisture when it comes to a little bit of dry air trying to come in from the west, but that's really nothing to look at, to be quite honest with you. The dry air is in the middle, which is where the eye is, and that's where you expect it to be. That's where you expect dry air to be. It's venting out hot air. So, yeah, the H-Spawn and the H-Wharf are both showing little to no dry air, little to no shear, and major hurricane when it goes in. I mean, that's just what it shows. By the way, congratulations to the Dallas Stars. They are now Western Conference champions, and they are going in to the championship. Very good for them. Very good for them. I'm going through trying to see. just taking a look at what some of the information coming in. The National Hurricane Center says that let's just hope that she plateaus. The National Hurricane Center says that she seems to be plateauing right now. Could increase tomorrow. Once again, your HWRF and your HMON, your two hurricane models, are saying that that would be just a temporary plateau. It would not be a official. It would be only a temporary plateau, not a permanent plateau. Just going through looking. I got it in 3D mode right now. She keeps trying really hard to close in that southwest eye wall. Right now, the National Hurricane Center is saying that that right now the sustained winds are around 100 mile. They are 100 miles per hour. Expect it to peak around 110 miles per hour, and then by the time landfall happens, going in at 105 miles per hour. That is what the National Hurricane Center is saying at this moment. That's what they are expecting. I want to give a shout out to F5 Weather. I'm a subscriber of theirs. Great site. Takes just a little bit of getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, really good. I'm going to go National Blend of Models map. I'm going to do a run total of the next 90 hours. This is a national blend of models, okay? And I'm going through the next 90 hours to see what some of these totals can look like. I love it when they blend models because you get more of a consensus. You get more of a true look at what it could possibly be. Okay? So let's take a look through 90 hours. When your models don't have colors to tell you how much it is. Wow. So right here with this model, it's a national blend of models. Basically from, that would be Biloxi, Mississippi, over to, excuse me while I get my map up going here. Over towards Fort Walton Beach and Grayton Beach, you're looking at least 14, 15 inches of rain in that area. 14 inches, 14 plus, for around 14, 15 inches of rain in this area right here, where colors don't even, doesn't the system's like, nope, too much. That's what you're looking at. It shows New Orleans at 2.45 inches, Tallahassee at 4 inches, Atlanta, Georgia, 5.65 inches, Birmingham, almost 5.5 inches, but Mobile, 14.3, anywhere in this area, 14, 15, 16 inches of rain. That's a national blend of models through 90 hours. Okay, that would be Friday afternoon. That's the type of rainfall that you're looking at. Let's jump out of that model. See if I can. I don't think I can hit my. No. This is a mean. This is your GFE. This is your European, your GFS, and your Canadian. This is a mean between all three. And I'm gonna take this 24 hour by 24 hours. So that's 24 hours from now. Your mean is over the mouth of the Mississippi. 48 hours from now, you're looking at it being, let's see, just west of just east of New Orleans, just south of Slidell. And then by 72 hours, the three model mean has it going up through Mobile Bay, and then it would be over towards, let me take a look at this, Atmore, Bay Minette, Century, Bruton, somewhere around in that area, okay? And then within 96 hours, just north of Tallahassee. So like I put that emphasis on it, Tallahassee. So that's what your three model mean has for the next 96 hours. Back it up just to show you. That's 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 96. On your national blend of models, you don't look at the intensity. You're just kind of looking for location. Your intensity, anytime you blend models like that, you're not gonna see what you want to see out of that. But still, location is what you're looking at. So between the GFS, the Canadian, and the European model, once again, 24 hours, mouth of Mississippi, 48 hours somewhere just south of Slidell, just east of New Orleans, and then 72 hours just north and east of Mobile, Alabama. That's your national mean, your mean between three areas, three models. Let's go look at each individual model. There's your European mean. 24 hours, 48 hours. Look at that movement. There's nothing there. In 24 hours, 48 hours, that is like maybe 20 miles of movement between Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the European has it going finally somewhere around late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, moving into Mobile Bay. Once again, don't look at the intensity. That's not what this is for. This is just showing you location. That's what the European model and all its ensembles added together, that's what it shows. Okay? Let's go look at the GFS model. Okay, now this is a GFS and all its ensembles added into one. It's not just the control. This is all the ensemble members, the sub members in this model. It's like 50 different, or 26. I'm sorry, somewhere around 26, 27 different ensembles, different sub members, all combined into one. Okay. In the general direction. So here is 6 hours. Let's go look at 24 hours from now, mouth of the Mississippi. Let's go look 48 hours from now. Basically has it just west of New Orleans over Lake Pontchartrain. This is the GFS. 72 hours, basically just north of Mobile. So notice that 72 hours, your ensembles are really keying in on just north of Mobile, somewhere in this area. Okay. Let's go look at, nope. Let's go look at the Canadian model and all its members and what it looks like. So let's go to 24 hours. 24 hours, mouth of the Mississippi. 48 hours. Basically coming in over Gulfport and Biloxi, Mississippi in 48 hours. 72 hours, way farther north and east than what the other model's seeing. So it's basically just south and east of Birmingham, Alabama, in 72 hours. So your Canadian members are showing it going in faster and moving in north and east faster than what your European model shows and what your GFS model shows. It's getting about time for your midnight model runs to start coming in. I'm going to go check and see if anything is starting to come in already. So you got 24 hours of GFS that's already running. And your 24 hours, in 24 hours, you got a 982 millibar, kind of where it is right now, but you got it just south of Biloxi, Mississippi, still out over water. This is the new, you're seeing it as I'm seeing it, this is the new GFS run. And this new GFS run is only put 24 hours out so far. And in 24 hours, this basically has it just south of Biloxi, Mississippi in 24 hours. Oh, here we go with 30 hours. Let's see if it moves much. Shows it almost going in. That would be going in right around Pascagoula. So the GFS is trying to bring it in a little faster. That would be, that's about right. It'd be Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's about right. So moving in as a 981. So it basically be moving in as a category 2 over Pascagoula. I'll loop. I'll loop this. It's only 6 frames, but I'll loop it. So you can see what the latest hot off the presses GFS is showing. Basically going in right at Pascagoula. Pascagoula. Okay, I'm not going to sing, sorry. You know, what's scary about this storm is the amount of rain that can fall. I'm going through information right now. So just looking at that run. And I have up to 36 hours. Oh, first 42. Let's see if I can get this a little better regionally put here. So we can see further into it. There we go. So up to 42 hours in the GFS. So at 42 hours, it would be just north and west of Mobile, Alabama. That would probably be still a Category 1, maybe low-end Category 1, high-end tropical storm north of Mobile, Alabama. That would be Wednesday afternoon. I love seeing models when they come in. Let's zoom in right quick. Once again, Pascagoula is where the GFS, the 0Z GFS, has this going. I'm going to stop this right quick because one of the things I love to do is let's see when it's going in. I'll take it hour 36. Okay. What I love to do is I love to go in and look at the model trend. And I'm going to look at hour 36. And we're going to look at what the model trend, so the last, let's look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the last 12 runs of the GFS. This shows me, the model trends show me exactly what the last runs are for this particular hour. So going back from on the 12th in the morning all the way up to now. Last runs, and it shows me at 36 hours how far the model has moved. And then from that you can tell, is this GFS actually zeroing in on a area? So let's run this. So notice how the trend is, it's moving it south and east and intensified. Let's take this for hour 30. Let's do the same thing for hour 30. And let's look at what hour 30 has. South, east, more intensity. So that's your model trend, south and east with more intensity. But notice, I'm going to stop it right here. Notice this run. We'll start from the last 3 runs. Look at the intensity, 982, 982, 981. So the GFS, the last 3 runs, has pretty much been within 100 miles on landfall and within 1 millibar pressure. So 1 millibar pressure and within 100 miles of landfall. Whoops. So this is the last 3 runs. 1, 2, 3. So zeroing in, the GFS is zeroing in on landfall. And that seems to be somewhere between Gulfport and Pascagoula. That's what the GFS is showing right now. That's the latest model trend on it. Run it again. Notice that model trend kind of within Bay of St. Louis, Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula. And the trend has been south and east. South and east. So that's the last 12 runs of the GFS, and it seems to be the last 3 runs have really zeroed in. And they have zeroed in between Gulfport, Biloxi, and Pascagoula. So the American model is seeing is pointing out the bullseye for us on the last 4 runs, the last 3 runs. The last 3 runs, which is your 12Z, your 18Z, and your 0Z. So your noon, your 6, and your midnight runs, all pretty much within 100 miles of each other, all pretty much within 1 millibar of pressure. So your GFS is showing Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, category 2 going in. That's what your GFS has zeroed in on the last 3 runs. So if you are in Biloxi, Pascagoula, Gulf Shores, not Gulf Shores, Gulfport, let's say anywhere from the Bay of St. Louis all the way over to the Alabama, Mississippi state line, I am putting you on high alert. Putting you on high alert. RIP TV, yeah. I just answered you back. You better watch out. The GFS has it out for you. If you're in Biloxi, the GFS is trying to bring this right to your front door, especially within the last 3 runs. So that would be right at your front door. Looks like it would be early Wednesday morning, and it would be category 2 coming in. And if that's the case, this is the area, Mobile Bay, Dauphin Island, Pensacola. If that's the case, that's where all the storm surge would go in. Just to the east of where the center of the storm is, that's where all that water would rush in. Okay. Let me get out of the model trends loop. I don't think the European has started yet. Goes to GFS high res. That's right. It didn't have much on there. Forget about that. Let's go to total rainfall amounts. Let's go to hour number 69. Here we go. This is the GFS high res. This is the new GFS. Okay. It's showing. This is rainfall amount. Okay. And this is through Thursday night. So showing basically around Mobile Bay almost 17 inches of rain. And that extends almost all the way out to the Florida, Alabama coast. 6.5 inches for Pensacola. Once again, this is just one model run. Biloxi, about 4 or 5 inches. But once again, this is GFS. High res, not the GFS. Let me see if I can get into the GFS. If it shows anything much different. Pretty much the same on the GFS. So GFS high rise and the GFS high resolution. Pretty much in conjunction there. Let's see what else. Let's go to HHR. Let's go to 02. Let's go reflectivity and the forecast look. Always like looking when it gets close, far out. This is the high resolution model. The high resolution, the rapid refresh model. Okay, I don't like looking at it when you're 3 or 4 or 5 days out. It's not good on pinpointing. But once you get within about 2 days, if it's close, the rapid refresh will show you at least a good direction of where to look. So I'm gonna let this run and let's see what the rapid refresh does. Oh, it's about 981. So your HRRR model is kind of in conjunction with your GFS. So not much in the terms of intensification, at least over the next 18 hours. That would take it through tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Let's get out of the HHR. The NAM has updated. NAM goes through 60 hours. Let's see what it shows. Oh boy. Oh, that's a 3. Sorry. It's a NAM 3K. Don't look at intensity. Once again, just going in. Dolphin Island, Mobile Bay, or just to the west of it. Let's go to the regular NAM. The regular NAM is better than the NAM 3K when it comes to intensity, so let's look at it. Okay, the regular NAM, this just ran. So your regular NAM has this going in about 9 o'clock in the morning, but it has it hitting more towards Foley, Alabama. More going in towards Orange Beach. And that would be going in as a Category 2, possibly Category 3 hurricane. So that's what your latest NAM. This is your 0Z NAM, your latest NAM run is what this is showing. So it's showing a little bit of the eastward trend. Let's go look. Speaking of that, let's get out of the forecast loop. Let's go look at the NAM. Let's go to a model trends loop and let's look at hour number 33 and let's see what the trend is with the NAM model is. All right. So notice trend is definitely east. And I want you to notice these last 3 runs. Okay, so 989 going in right at Mobile Bay. That was at 12Z. It backed it off further south and west at the 18Z. And then the latest run brings it east and north from what it was. Basically going in at Orange Beach. So that's what the NAM has. The latest run of the NAM. Haven't really looked at the UK Met. I'm gonna run a forecast loop on it. Still waiting on the latest UK Met. This is the 12Z run of the UK Met. Definitely has it intensifying. So basically it has it going in as a category 3. And that would be going in somewhere between Orange Beach and Pensacola, Florida. Now, I do believe there's an air base right there. See if there's any shear. Yeah, had about 30 knots of shear. So it would start degrading it at that point. But that's your UK Met. That's the 12Z run. Still waiting on the 0Z run to come on the UK Met. Looks like your Canadian model is starting to run. Nothing loaded in on it yet. And that's your Canadian Rapid that's trying to load up. Your latest HHR has only got a couple of hours. Only got 4 hours on it. So we'll wait for that to load up. Your Rapid only has 7 hours loaded up on it. I don't like the initiation of the Rapid already. Let's go to 0.2. Because your initiation on the Rapid is, the intensity is not high enough. I don't like the way the Rapid model is handling Sally at this time, because the initiation, the very beginning of the initiation is wrong. Because if you look at that, the positioning's right, okay? So the positioning's right, but the millibar is wrong. And we're about 983 millibar. So when you're 14 millibars off, that can have a big bearing on if a storm's stronger, it tries to pull north a little bit. The stronger the storm is, the more poleward, so the more it tries to go towards the North Pole. Okay. Right now, starting out at 997, I don't like it. It should be at least starting at a 985, and it's not initiating at that. So I don't like the way that the wrap model is initiating it. I don't think it's going to show true to what it should be showing. Okay, here's the Canadian. This is their Rapid. This is 0Z. Let's see what it does. Once again, I don't like how it initiates. Initiates too low, too high. Looks like going in right on the Alabama, Mississippi, Pascagoula, Dauphin Island, somewhere around in there. As it going in, it's about a high category 1, category 2. Okay. I'm going to look at some of the National Weather Services. I'm going to look at their... Now, I already like this National Weather Service model. It's starting out right. Starting out about a 986. So good initiation by this model. Let's see how it works. Goodness. Wow. You want to talk about east? Holy cow. That might be the furthest east I've ever seen one go. This would be 19Z, so this would be Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. And that would be more towards Panama City. Going in as like a category 3, category 4. Holy cow. That came out of nowhere. We'll definitely call that one an outlier. But I'm going to let this run through because I want to go back and watch this again. Watch how it just stays in the same place. It just moves north, south, east, west. It doesn't move much of anywhere. Bobbles north, and then looks like, I guess, the front picks it up and then moves it almost northeast and moves it in as a 956 millibar hurricane over basically Panama City, Rosemary Beach. That came out of nowhere. I thought I was just seeing stuff. All right, so that's one. Same one, sorry. Let's go look at this one. This one just initiated. It's initiating too high on the millibar. But let's give it a chance. Let's let it run through. Bobbing north, bobbing south. Moving north. Moving north. All right, so there is your, move it back. So basically going in as a category 2. This would be going in at kind of along with what the National Weather Service shows, National Hurricane Center shows, right on the Alabama-Mississippi state line. With that would be all that water coming into Mobile Bay, going over Dolphin Island, getting into Orange Beach, same thing. So this is in line with the National Hurricane Center's thinking. Maybe a little too strong going in, but that's this model's version. And then we'll take another. All three of these are National Weather Service models. So let's take a look at what this shows. Once again, bobbing around, bobbing around. Moving directly over Dolphin Island and directly into Mobile Bay as a high category 2, maybe category 3, moving in Wednesday morning. It's going right over, I believe that's Dolphin Island. Yep. So maybe moving right over Dolphin Island and right into the bay, the Mobile Bay. So that's what this model. So 2 of the 3 models showing a hit basically Mississippi, Alabama state line or Mobile Bay. The other one was way over here. Oh, excuse me, way over here. So the GFS is showing more consensus towards Gulfport and Biloxi and Pascagoula. 2 of your 3 National Weather Service models have it going in at the Mississippi, Alabama state line or right into Mobile Bay. So this general area right here. This general area right here. Let me see if I can see if it looks good like that. Let's see here. So Let me solo that one. Let me bring it up. So this area right here, GFS, National Weather Service models are focusing in right there. And if we really wanted to go look at it, your European is also right there in this same area: Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, Mobile. So what I have right here, showing you right here, is where your models are really starting to hit on. This area right here. And if you took the mean between all of them, it'd be, somewhere between Biloxi and Pascagoula. We'll wait for the models to continue to roll in. Let's go take another look through Radar Omega. Let's stop that. Let's get out of satellite. Let's go into the radar. Let's go single site radar. Really looks discombobulated at the moment. Let's run this through 50 frames. She's having a hard time with that eye. Eye looks kind of ragged. Eye looks really ragged. She's having a hard time getting that eye closed off. That is as ragged as her eye has been since yesterday. So it looks like no rapid intensification tonight. Not with an eye that looks like that. Do 100 frames of Hurricane Sally on satellite, on infrared satellite, just to show you what just a few hours can do, from blowing up to kind of settling back down and trying to regain strength, and then losing shape and trying to gain that shape back. So here's the last 100 frames of Sally. It's impressive. She had to ingest some dry air. Let's go look. Mid-level. She is surrounded by dry air. Yep. Kind of fell apart here in the last See, she blew up this morning, looked good this afternoon, and about 5 o'clock started losing shape. I'm just trying to get that back. Definitely might have ingested some dry air. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look at this over the United States. Sometimes when you look at this on a bigger picture, this can show you more than just looking at the storm itself. So that's what I'm gonna look at. And what we're looking at here is we're looking at mid-layer, so mid-atmosphere water vapor. A lot of times that can show you if dry air is getting into a system, and they can also show you what's the next thing to pick the system up.